All right. Welcome to Whiskey and the News. You heard me drinking some Weller's 12. I'm going to film my glass liberated, borrowed, technically, from some people that probably don't need it anymore. Right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink this glass, right? I'm pulling up top 5 news stories on Apple News, and we're going to talk about them. So, cheers to you guys. Here we go. Whiskey in the News. Okay, top 5 stories. Here we go. America's progress against the coronavirus has stalled. Okay, first off, if you're watching this, you already know coronavirus is bullshit. The CDC came out and said it, right? It's only killed people with 2 to 3 morbidity factors, which essentially I think means you're already 1 foot in the grave, but hey, whatever, right? So this week, there's some states that they are on the rise. South Dakota, increasing numbers of COVID. Iowa, Atlanta, and West Virginia are all the highest states. North Carolina stayed the same, right? New York, Kansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Ohio, New Jersey, Maine, Minnesota, North Dakota, and Montana all slightly increased. Decreasing California, Nevada, Arizona, Wyoming, Texas, Mississippi, and Georgia are on the decrease, right? Why it matters. We had a nice little run of improvement over the last month or so. Yeah, look, here's the deal, man. All these protests that goes on, and we didn't have all these people die that are in public spaces. I know they cover their face, but did they really protect themselves at the riots against Corona? I don't think so. So I think it's basically what the CD said is it doesn't really kill people who aren't sick. Right, but and basically this thing's basically just saying, I'm scanning through it right now. Here's what it's saying. Coronavirus. The number of cases are going up. Deaths are going down. Hospitals are sinking. No one's going to hospitals because of Corona right now. So doctors, everybody, right? They're pretty much out of work. I've even heard of people who work in hospitals that aren't getting paid because they got no money because of the coronavirus. So, okay, numbers are on the rise. Deaths, which is the most important, are on the decline. I think the other day I checked the North Carolina's death per million people, and I think it's 160 people have died of corona per million people. Do the math, you know what I mean? So I think this is mostly just more fear mongering. The corona's on the rise, people, right? When really you're going to die if you're already sick. There's people, this is legit, but healthy people, keep on keeping on. Rest of it's bullshit for you. Next top story, Biden describes talk with Jacob Blake during Kenosha visit. He talked about how nothing was going to defeat him. First off, I don't think that guy even knows where he is. I think he thinks he's winning World War II. And according to him the other day, the coronavirus has been around. It's the worst in 100 years or something about 100 years. Who even knows what he's talking about? So, they bash Trump because Trump went to Kenosha and, he's just grandstanding. Well, who's there 2 days later, right? And then, look, I don't know why, but right, wrong, or indifferent, right? The police shot Jacob Blake, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent. We'll find out. Most of the time, I'm telling you right now, most of the time, the cops are going to walk, right? The 7-second video that you see was edited. It's not all the details. There's more to it than that. So, he talked to Jacob Blake Sr., the father, right? Hey, I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. Blake. But I can tell you this. If you're a dude, right, or you're anyone and you threaten and fight the police, it'll eventually end in your death, guaranteed, no matter who you are, right? So, Biden's in Wisconsin. 7 Rochester officers, New York, suspended in the case of the death of Daniel Prude. I understand the union may sue me for taking these officers off our streets. Mayor Lovely Warren told on Thursday they should feel free to do so. So basically what ended up happening is Daniel Prude, naked in the rain in the middle of the street, sounded like he was on drugs because he was looking for a plane ticket at one moment. Like, I don't know what's up with that. I think he was on drugs. What you didn't see in the video is I think he was spitting, like a lot spitting, and they put a anti-spit bag over his head. Well, he ends up asphyxiated, right? He died of asphyxiation. So whatever drugs he was on, I believe, was probably the same drugs that Floyd was on, right? Which, you know, anytime you mix that fentanyl and meth or whatever that drug combination is, it restricts your bronchioles, you're gonna suffocate, right? So they're taking these cops off the streets because they put a spit bag over their head. But I know in other states, you spit on a police officer, right? That's use of deadly force in most states, right? Why? What if you had HIV and you spit in a cop's face or mouth? Now he'd be HIV positive. So I know a lot of law enforcement agencies don't take being spit on lightly, right? And they threw the spit bag over his head. The mayor and the police chief took him out of circulation. But I would tell you this right now, they're going to walk. They're probably going to be fine. They followed every procedure set up to them, right? This is just the knee-jerk reaction world we live in. All right, U.S. stocks fall amid decline of the technical shares. Big tech companies, including Facebook and Apple, led to declines. Investors weigh on data and unemployment benefits. Dudes, think about this. We just came off COVID, and I'll tell you this, these big companies, these big tech companies, they had the biggest earning months they ever had while everyone was home. They were selling content. They were selling, you name it, they were selling it. And now, like, you're starting to feel the effects of COVID. People's money starting to run out. Like, yeah, of course this is going to happen. I don't know much about stock market, but hey, I told you top 5. It's one of them. So I'm going to take a drink. Okay, so number 5, pandemic has created a class of super savers, right? We're just rife with cash, and it has led to a decent amount of guilt. Yeah, I don't even know what these guys are talking about. Businesses have shut down, right? Jobs have disappeared. Households have been saving more money than ever. Yeah, well, hey, man, like, look, you know, this COVID stuff, whether it's legit, whether you think it's legit, not, you can think what you want about it. Most small businesses are gone. And I'm going to tell you this is, you know, Amazon and Walmart, all the big companies, they're not going to help you, the mom and pop joint. They're earning more money than ever before, right? So the fact that it has created a class of super savers, yeah, absolutely, man, because you don't know when, you know, if you're not working, when are you getting your next paycheck? Yeah, you're not going out and spending money. And I'd also tell you this, is I think some of this data is probably skewed because most businesses are still closed. You couldn't go out and spend money. You couldn't go out and eat dinner or go to a bar to have a good time, even if you wanted to blow off some steam. So I think this is this article right here is the fear mongering, where if we just feed you little by little propaganda, you'd never notice that, you know, we were feeding you propaganda all along. And that's what the news is, propaganda. All right, drinks up, guys. Whiskey in the news. Tune in next week. We'll cover the top 5 next week.